Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stellar Life Show happening today. So it's been an amazing time so far since the beginning of the year, and I trust that we've all had great time. So last week we spoke about career transition, the decision to leave an organization or not. Maybe not for an organization. It might also be the decision to move on to another role or take on another challenge. It might be vertical, it might be horizontal or lateral, but whichever it is, transitions mean pivoting and making changes, making movements. And one of the things we consider while we're talking about transition has to do with understanding our career season. And it's very important for each and every one of us to have a conversation to identify what career season we in or we are stepping into, or just to evaluate ourselves to be sure that we are making progress as we go on into our career. So I want to welcome you to Career Seasons. So good to have each and every one of you join us. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. I hope you are ready. You're taking away all forms of distraction. You're ready to learn. You're ready to share, ask questions if we have any. So here we go. As it is in life, so is it with our careers. So in our career, we have different seasons. Just like in life, we have different seasons. So I know that if you're in Nigeria, we have two major seasons. It's either is sunny or there's rainfall or there's harmattan. Okay, so let's just say three. But then overseas, we notice that they have something they call fall, spring, winter, and autumn, just like the picture depicts here. So the picture depicts one place, but going through different phases. So the same thing for each and every one of us. We are the same individual going through different phases or stages in our career. So it's very important for us to know what career seasons we're in, just as it is important to know what weather season we also have in the country where you're staying, because it will determine what to wear, when to go out, how to mingle, things to organize, things to plan for. It aids your planning, it aids your decision making, it also aids your choices as you grow. So welcome to this class again. So we guided by this outline. I thought that it was very important for each and every one of us to go through the career season identification questionnaire. Some people know what season they are in. Some do not know what season they are in. Hence the need for this questionnaire. And when you answer the questionnaire, you'll be able to discover where you are. We talk about the four career seasons and then the importance of identifying season and any other matters that we might have as we go through this conversation. So here are the questionnaire that speaks about our career season. So first question has to do with your years of experience. And this is something that we can actually do right now. It's a practical class, and I really appreciate for us to quickly look through the question, write our answers, and then we can talk about it after class. So years of experience. How many years of experience do you have? You know this, you don't need to think about it. What level of responsibility do you have when you're working? Are you an entry level person, a mid-level person, senior level, or executive level? And you can see some of the tasks that are assigned to every level. So just check and pick which one applies to you. Also, we see learning and development. Where are you on the learning and development cadre? Are you seeking opportunities? Are you improving on your existing skills? Are you mentoring others? Or are you refining expertise to a specialized area? Now, your goal setting and your achievements. Do you have short-term goals? Do you have short-term and mid-term? Do you have long-term career goals? Or you have significant milestones and aspirational goals that you have achieved or that you want to achieve? Next speaks to leadership and influence. All of these are very important. Next is the scoring guide. So simply, we have just 5 questions. 5 questions that we can respond to as fast as we can, right? And I do not want us to sort of rush through. So if you don't get this, or if you're unable to respond to this immediately, you can watch the video again and take the career identification questionnaire Answer the questions and choose where you fall in with your career. Next, we'll be moving to the scoring. So there are 5 questions. And question, once you pick A as your answer, 1 point, B as your answer, 2 points, C as your answer, 3 points, and D as your answer, 4 points. Then you have a total score that determines which of the career seasons that you're in. So this simply tells us that we have 4 career seasons, as we stated last week during our class on transition. You are either an apprentice, you are an experienced person, you're a master, or you are an authority. So now let's go straight into it. Let's go into an apprentice. Who is an apprentice? Now, for every level or for every phase in our life, there are attributes or characteristics or situation or circumstances that surrounds that area. So who is an apprentice? An apprentice is an entry-level individual at a career place or in a vocation. An entry level is one who is a greenhorn, someone that you can say is new, they're just learning the ropes, they're just getting into the labor market or the favor market. Now, what are the attributes of this person? One of the attributes that an apprentice should have is an apprentice should be very interested in the opportunity to learn and develop. Now, while it's good for you to say, oh, I want to earn big, I want to earn fast, I want to get a lot of money, that shouldn't primarily be your concern, right? At this stage, you should be looking to learn to improve your earning, because it is your learning and your development so far that will determine how much you can request for in the marketplace, and not the other way around. So it's important that you do not put the cart before the horse. So learning and development is something that should be important to anyone who is an apprentice. Next also has to do with skill acquisition. Now, depending on the career path that you've chosen or where you're currently working, there are certain skills and, characteristics that are required of that industry where you're working in. For example, if you're in the finance industry, one of the skills that you should be looking to develop is how to use Excel. You take it a notch higher from saying, okay, I've learned Excel. I need to learn how to use Power BI. I need to learn how to use Tableau. I need to learn how to use MySQL. Now, these are skills that are very important, because if you tell anyone, oh, I work in the finance space, they automatically assume that you should be very good with the Microsoft Excel sheet. So this is very important. If you're an apprentice and you're listening to me, it means that learning and development should be priority for you. Using the finance also as a case study for learning and development. You know that if you're in the finance space, depending on which area of finance you're in, you should be looking to say, I want to get certified. I either want to be a CFA charter holder, or I want to be a chartered accountant with ICANN or ACCA, depending on your goals and aspirations. If you know you want to practice in Nigeria, ICANN is what you should have. And if you know you want to travel to the diaspora, then ACCA is what you should be looking to get. So learning and development, skill acquisition is very important. Also, I know that initially, for some of us, your first job might not necessarily be what you like. It's just an opportunity for you to leave the house and an opportunity for earning. You don't want to stay at home. You don't want to stay unemployed. So every opportunity, you just get to work. You just say, oh, let me just take it. Let me serve here while I wait for what I really want or what I think I deserve. So this season can be a season of exploration and experimentation, because in this season, you never know. That job description that you're currently going to might be something you come to fall in love with, and you're like, I think I want to do this for the rest of my life. Or you can tell yourself, oh, I don't like this. Let me try something else. The apprentice phase is a phase where you can say, let me try, let me be here and there, let me put my leg here. Oh, I don't think I like it. Let me switch to this. You can begin to hop around because you're still in the entry level phase, right? It's okay for you to be, I don't call it undecisive, right? But it's good for you to test the waters and determine what you think that you're going to like. This is a good time for you to take risks. So what are the things that you need to do as an apprentice? You need to set learning goals for yourself. Oh, do I want to have a master's? When do I want to have a master's? Not just saying I want to have a master's or I want to further my education. When do you want to do it? Because a goal without a date is just a wish, right? So you need to put a date to anything that you want to do. So have learning goals to your colleagues. You can have a feedback and improvement session with your team lead Or you can do something they call a 360-degree feedback. You can ask your superiors, you can also ask those your peers or those below you, you know, your subordinates. You can ask them, what do you think I'm good at? Do you think I'm really good at this job? How can I improve? And take every feedback constructively and use it as a feed forward to improving your career. And also, at this level, there's a need for you to begin to build professional relationships, begin to network gradually. Know someone who works here, know somebody who works in this department, begin to build cross-functional or multi-dimensional relationships across the organization and across different functions. Don't be that person who works in an organization and the only people you know are the people in your department. You know, it's good for you to cross-pollinate, right? Cross-pollination of ideas. You could bet new things. You speak to somebody in another department. For example, if you work in a bank and you're in the customer experience department, go above and beyond. Understand what people in treasury are doing. Understand what people in marketing, corporate marketing, retail or SME, understand their businesses. Just so that you have a robust idea, you are exposed to what they do, and it gives you a holistic view of the organization that you're in. What makes money? What takes away money? You just have to understand the business of your organization, because this will go ahead to improve your performance and your accountability. Your performance and accountability is also something that you should take very, very seriously. How am I performing in this role? Right? Because there's this thing that we always say, you cannot judge a fish by its inability to fly. So you really want to gauge your performance and say, how can I improve my performance? Am I doing well? Do I need to change? Do I need to be accountable to somebody for my learning? Do I need a mentor? You begin to ask yourself all of these questions. These are the important things that you should do now that you are an apprentice. And even if I'm speaking to you, you're listening, you're not an apprentice, you think you are already experienced and you're a master and you think you didn't do some of this, it's not too late to do them, right? So these are things that you can do. So the goal for every apprentice is to become a better person, a highly informed and capable team member. If everyone wants to have you on their team, let them say, oh my God, if they say set up a team, you're like, oh, you have to be on my team because Oyinkan is grounded. And that's because you have paid attention to your learning and your development. Be that sought after colleague that everybody wants on their team. That should be your goal as an apprentice, right? To be the best. Not how can I earn more money, earn more money, earn more money. But you earn more money, earn more money, but you're not able to give value. You see that very soon you're going to lose relevance, and you don't want that to happen to you. So now that we successfully dealt with who an apprentice is, what an apprentice should do, and the attributes, the next is experience. So now you have spent, say, over 2 years, maybe being an apprentice, learning the ropes, improving on your learning goals, but we know that learning never stops. So even as an experienced hire, there's still learnings that you have to do. But the reward for good work is more work. So as an experienced person, some of the attributes and the additional things that you need to consolidate upon is building your expertise, right? So now that you have learned Excel, now that you've learned Power BI, you need to ask yourself, so what else can I learn that will be a value add to my business? And I tell yourself, okay, I think I want to learn data visualization. I want to learn data engineering. I want to learn data analysis because I think that it will help me churn out better results in my work, right? So it varies for different organizations. It varies for different people. But most importantly, we're taking you as an individual. What is that career goal? Because the career goal is that which shows where you are headed, the path that you should take. So your colleagues might not understand why you are taking certain exams or doing why you're doing what you're doing. But that's because you set a goal. You are different. So nobody can dissuade you and say, no, you don't need to do that exam. You know why you're doing that exam, right? So you need to build more expertise. You need to take up challenges. So a project is coming up, they're trying to put a team together and they're saying, who would like to be on this project? You should be excited. You should be one who will say, I can do it. Who will go for us? I will go for you. Taking on challenges because it shows that you're ready for more. And like one of my mentors will say, promotion does not come because you have stayed too long on a level. Promotion comes because you have shown that you are able to shoulder the responsibility of the next level, right? So it means that even at the level where you are taking on responsibilities that are bigger and higher than your paycheck. So you're showing that you are responsible. and you're accountable, you're able to perform, right? So take on challenges and look for other opportunities for career advancement. Also, do you need to take an executive certification from maybe Harvard, maybe MIT, maybe Stanford, something that will give you more credibility, something that will boost your CV or your credibility in the marketplace? One very important thing that I would encourage each and every one of us to do is to take your learning and development and your training into your own hands. Don't wait for your organization. Don't say, I'm waiting until the organization trains me. What if the organization never trains you? So it means there are no ways to improve yourself. Remember, your career is yours. The time when your organization might be ready to send you, it might be at that time when you have a lot of things on your plate. Take, for instance, a woman who is married and is saying, oh, I wait for my organization to train me. I wait for my organization to train me. And then when the organization, she now tells herself, okay, I'm ready. And then our organization is ready to train her when she just had a baby. Of course, the weight of motherhood, the blessings and the joy of motherhood would not allow her to take that exam at this time. But you need to pay attention to the child. But imagine maybe when she was 18, when she was in school, she took those exams. It will not be a burden now because she has done what she had to do at that time. So I need you to ask yourself, what are the things that I need to do now? What are the seeds that I need to sow that will begin to bear fruit? So when your organization says, oh, I want to send you on this training, you tell them, oh, I've gone on this training, but I can take this alternative training. So you have another training or career advancement program that you're willing to take that the organization can then pay for, and then you don't have to pay for it. Never see any investment in yourself as a loss. No, one of the greatest form of investment that you can have is an investment in yourself. Because when you keep bettering yourself, it means that you're going to add more value. It will give you more money and opportunities to do more, right? So don't ever see an investment in maybe a course, a career, a coaching program as a waste. It is never a waste. It's an investment in yourself. So what are the things you should do as an experienced person? You need to develop your skill. We know that you've gotten a certain level of skill, but you need to take it a notch higher. Give yourself to continuous learning, continuous program. If you're one who has done ICANN certification or CIPM certification, there's something they call mandatory and continuous program, like a continuing education, where you need to keep learning. Because if you were an accountant in 1970 and you decided not to learn anymore, you would really be outdated, because you know that in this times of season, we're talking about IFRS, we're talking about IAS standards, we're talking about ESA standards, new standards that are governing the accounting profession. So you can't say, I was or I am an accountant in 1970. You have to give yourself to learning, give yourself to training. And as you go up higher, one of the skills also that you should develop is your leadership skill. Your leadership skill, your ability to influence others. And you don't necessarily have to have the title team lead, group head, project lead to be a leader. No, it starts with you. It starts with you directing people and saying, let's go this way. This is how we should go. And this comes with taking initiative. You see that your organization has something that they need to do. And they are yet to do. Why not take the initiative? Call yourself together, call one or two persons and say, I believe we can do this. I think we can start this. Let's try it. Let's see how it goes. Begin to take initiative. At this point too, as you begin your the leadership growth process and you take initiative, it will lead to networking, because people want to work with you, people want to know you, and it's also a good place for you to build visibility. Begin to put out content on LinkedIn, begin to talk to people around you, encourage people around you, people that you have gone past that stage. Because once you are experienced, it means that you can teach somebody who is an apprentice what to do and what not to do. So as you're teaching people, you're also learning, you're also getting better, you're consolidating on what you know, you're finding new ways to do new things, right? And it will improve your performance and your result, because people have positive things to say about you. When they think about you, they're like, oh no, that senior is such a fantastic senior. She's a great senior. When I came in, she welcomed me, she put me through, she told me what I need to learn. I didn't have to waste so much time, making my own mistakes. She taught me her mistakes, and now I can go faster and better because of this senior, right? So this creates visibility for you. The goal here is to be a capable team lead, right? You're a potential team lead, even though you don't have the title team lead yet. You're a leader without the title, like Robert Sharma would say. At this point, experience stage, these are the things that you need to do. Now, moving on is becoming a master, right? So like you say, it's becoming a master. A master simply means a person who has mastery and specialization, one who is so good. People are saying that he does. He knows so many things. He can be a generalist. He knows a bit of everything here and there. But when it comes to this particular field, he's the best. So when you think of Steph Curry, you just think of basketball. Doesn't mean that his whole life revolves around basketball. No, there are other things he does with his life, but what he is known for is basketball. When you think of Victor Osimhen, that's what you think of him, right? So there are so many other people you call Burner Boy, you call Herbert, the late Herbert Twigwe. These people, when you call them an industry, a sector resonates. That is what you want to be at this stage. That's why when if you are an apprentice and you're listening to this, you're all men most fortunate and most blessed, because it means that you can see into the future and say, I want to be known in this industry. I want to be the 1% of the 1% in this industry. I want to specialize here. I want to gain mastery here. I want to develop my leadership in this position. I want to have mentorship. When you talk about HR, you talk about Lara Yeku, Victoria Ibawa, Yemi Fashion. There are people whose name comes to your mind, think of Benga Kuchoi, because they've created a niche for themselves in the human resources space. You talk about Emmanuel Faith as well, right? So there are people who you can model after. So if you're in this mastery or the master phase, you want to build more mastery in what you do. You want to be able to specialize. You want to be a better leader. You want to be able to create a mentorship program, because like I said, when you're at the experience level, it means that you can help those who are the apprentice. Once you're in the master's phase, it means that you can help both the apprentice and the experienced person. Now, this is giving back to mentorship. This is you giving back, right? So, also, the attributes of a master is one who is able to innovate. Previously, as the experienced person, we said that at this phase, you begin to take initiative. And it's initiative that will also lead to innovation, better ways of doing things. Innovation doesn't always have to be completely disruptive, where you're coming up with something that somebody has never done. Innovation can be as subtle and minute as, how can we do this better? How can we do this cheaper? How can we do this faster? How can we do this? Whatever adjective it is that you want to put there, that is what innovation is. And at this point, you're solidifying your thought leadership, because you're able to come up with principles for your career or for your goals to say, of a truth, I know that if you do A, B, C, you're going to get this result. Because you have been there, you have done that. So you are able to emphatically put out your thought process. People can run with it and they still get and bet the same results that you have, right? That's why it's very important for you at this phase. If you see yourself in the master's phase, when you look at the questionnaire that we took and you see that you spent over 5 years, going to 10 years, at this phase, you should become a master. You can get there faster, right? But these are some of the things that could help you know if you're where you are supposed to be, and if you're lagging behind, and how you can up your game, how you can level up, right? So innovation and thought leadership, these are some of the attributes of the master. Now, at this phase, what do you do? Like I said, still repeating, you want to improve on your thought leadership. Except you're not interested in thought leadership. But I don't think there's anyone who really carries value on their inside that doesn't want to give back, right? Leaders should be people who are able to replicate after themselves, replicate after their kind. That's why there's such a thing as succession planning, where people are able to plan the future leaders of their organization within 5 to 10 years, right? So think of, I need to improve on innovation. If I need to take a course on innovation, how can I be innovative? How can I think innovation? How do I make things better? And creativity, thinking outside the box, thinking like there's no box, breaking the box, shattering the box, removing every glass ceiling that is there. Creativity is key at this phase, because people are looking up to you. So when people are complaining about the problem, you should be able to prefer solution. You're a solution provider. You're not murmuring, you're not whining, you're not complaining, because if as a boss you're complaining, what do you want your subordinates to do, right? So at this point, you are now coming into leadership. In some organization, you'll be in senior management. And one of the things that make leaders leaders is because they can cast a vision. They can create a compelling picture that everybody wants to run with. They can paint a future that you want to feature in. So you need to start visioning things. You need to start creating visions and say, How do I want this place to be in the next 10 years? You know, look at all the top CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. You would always see them talk about vision. Think of one of the most unforgettable and memorable CEOs that has ever lived. Steve Jobs, he had a vision of what Apple should be like, what the iPhone should be like. And see, he has left, but we're still running with his legacy. We're still running with his vision. We're using products that he bettered, products that he created. We listen to his talks, thought leadership, sharing, right? Very, very important as you become a master. Because the ultimate goal is you want to be memorable. Anyone who is valuable should be looking forward to make impact and leave a legacy. So that's what you should be doing at this phase. Planting yourself, replicating after your kind as a master, right? And so after being a master, there's something else. And that is becoming an authority. Like he says, authority, authority. So it means that you have legitimacy. Like when anyone is talking about anybody in an industry, you cannot be forgotten. Your name will be mentioned. Why? Because you have industry influence. And that's why I said that there's a need for you to network and build relationships. Because as a master, one of the things that you have done with your top leadership, your impact, and your legacy is that you have created a personal brand for yourself, knowingly or unknowingly, but it's better to be intentional, in becoming a brand, right? And you can listen to my previous class on YouTube titled Off Brand to really understand how to build a personal brand for yourself, what you want to be known for, what you want to stand for. Now, coming back to authority. I mentioned that when you're in an organization, you don't just stay in a silo and say, oh, this is my department, I don't interfere with others. No, there's a need for you to cross-pollinate with others. There's a need for you to network, build professional relationships which you have started, right? And, people don't stay together, just like the adage says, 20 children cannot play together for 20 years. People would always leave organizations and go to other places. What the perception and the impact and the impression you've made on them is what they will carry with them when they leave. And they're able to talk about it to other people in the industry. And it means that you can become an industry influence, where when they want to make any decision as regards a space, they would always call you. Just like in Nigeria, when we want to talk about technology, when we want to talk about the tech space, there's no way you not mention Inya Boyeji, you not mention Victor Aksemota, or you not mention the Paystar guys or the Flutterwave team, because why? They're really industry influence. They started the industry, they ran with it, they took it a notch higher. All of this has started a long time. Banking has always been banking, right? But they came and said, oh, we need to break down the services that banks can offer, take one and, make it attractive for everybody. And that's how fintech came to be, right? So they are industry influences. And it shows, and it's due to their strategic leadership. So as an authority, you have strategic leadership. There are some industries that you mentioned certain names. Nobody is undisputed. No one will argue with you. Everyone will align with you and say, no, this person is a great person. Case in point, Segun Agbaje of Guarantee Trust Bank, a visionary leader who has led GT Bank from being a bank to a holding company, now Guarantee Trust Holding Company, with subsidiaries in fund management, in pension, and also in the fintech space. Only vision and strategic leadership would have bettered both. So you can call him an authority, and he will never be forgotten for this. It means that he has built a legacy. He has made an impact. So if you're also an authority, or you aim to be an authority, what are the things that you need to do? You know that you're already C-suite, you're already on the board, you're leading a whole lot of people, you're leading an organization. So it means that you need to develop your executive leadership. And one of the ways you can develop your executive leadership is by taking courses also. Like I said, learning never stops, because there's something called executive presence. There's a certain confidence that you need to exude, a certain charisma that you should develop along the way, that your body language and your actions can lead people, and they know that, oh, I cannot be afraid because I have this boss. For example, those in Access Bank will say that late Herbert Wigwe have made them to become warriors. They see themselves as fearless. They can take on anything. They can watch. They can handle anything. And that's because the leadership determines the culture. Culture building is very important at this phase. Executive leadership is so packed. There's a lot in it. Building psychological safety within your organization, very key. And then you become a global influence, because if you're conquered locally within your space, within your industry, you've been part of, organizations, you've taken certifications, professional bodies know you. You begin to interact with people in other climes because you're a top leader here. Nobody can come to Nigeria, a country with over 200 million persons, and want to make a decision without consulting you or calling you to a round table or giving you a seat at the place of power. It's not possible. Now, these are the things that an authority figure will begin to look at. How can I build or expand my global influence? You begin to think of legacy and succession planning, because any leader who fails to produce another great leader has failed, no matter how great his time was, because it means that if you hand over the baton to another leadership and it fails immediately, then it means that you have been a bad leader. But you're supposed to bet your hand, right? You're supposed to bring forth another leader who will take the organization to a higher strategic level of blueprint or framework that you have created for that organization. And at this phase as well, you want to begin to take on social responsibility, just the way organizations have corporate social responsibility. You want to act yourself as an authority. What is my individual social responsibility? We see one of the matriarchs in the professional space, Mrs. Ibukunwa. We see her giving talks. We see her talking to young ladies, inspiring entrepreneurs, ensuring that everybody is doing well. With her platform, with her name, with the opportunities that she has. Now, that is social responsibility. She's not just saying, oh, I have paid the price, I have done my course, let me relent, let me go back. No, she's teaching, she's opening the path, she's showing the way because she has gone the way. She's not showing the way to say, ladies, young men, individuals, organizations, this is how to grow. This is how to be better. That's what an authority does. Now, if you've been in this class so far, I'm sure that you've sort of identified yourself and you're sort of having a picture for your future already. Say, this is how I want my career to be. This is how I want it to be. And these stages of expertise that we just mentioned also applies to other areas of life, right? Because if you are going to do anything, you would always start from the beginning and then you begin to improve and you begin to level up. So don't just apply this to your career. There are other places you can apply it to. But I trust that you start first with your career and see it yield for you and put it in other areas. So what are the importance? Let's just repeat some of the things I said earlier. What are the importance of identifying your career ceiling? It shows that you are self-aware. It shows that you know where you are. It shows that you're able to allocate your resources because you know where you are. You know what you should be doing now. So you earn your salary rather than begin to spoil yourself and splurge and do some unnecessary things. You know that as an apprentice, this is the best time to invest in myself because I will reap it. There's some organizations where they would say the only person that can occupy this level is someone who has done masters. Imagine as an apprentice, you decided to take your masters. Not because you knew that there was a policy like that. Well, maybe there wasn't even a policy like that, but you just decided to take your masters. And then it got to that level where they said one of the criteria is you must have your masters. You will be so happy with yourself and say, thank God I did this at the right time. It was just perfect. It wasn't like it was convenient. It wasn't like I wasn't tempted. My friends were buying the latest phones, latest gadgets, latest shoes, bag, hair. But I just told myself, no, this is what I need to do. And then you've done it. And now it is paving way for you. The money that you would earn in that level, you can get the latest handbag, get the latest phones. You take on more responsibility because the truth is, as we grow in life, you need to always enlarge your capacity. New things will come. First, it starts with just you. Then you find yourself in a relationship that leads to marriage, and then children begin to come, mentors begin to come. Everything gets bigger. You need to cater for not just yourself, but much more. So now that you have just yourself, or you're not yet married, why not just pay the price, burn the midnight candle where there's no baby crying in the night, read all you have to read, do all you have to do. Just try and do the right things at the right time. And it comes with self-awareness and goal setting. We've had a class where we spoke about goal setting, right? Just about the bullseye. If you've not watched that class, I think you should go and watch that class. Bullseye. How to set your goals and make sure that you hit your goals right on target. What is that goal that you have for your career? And next, we spoke about strategic planning, decision making, and choices. When you know that rain is falling, there are certain outfits that you will wear. You know that, oh, I need to hold an umbrella. Oh, I need to get a raincoat. Oh, I need to get a rubber sandal. You would dress for that occasion. The same thing, if you're an apprentice, what should be my focus at this stage? If you're an experienced person, what should I be doing now? If you're an authority, how can I consolidate on everything I've done in the past years? It helps you with strategic planning, decision making, and choices, because you would always sometimes be faced with a lot of options, so many things calling for your attention, distractions here and there. But give to your time what you have to give to it, and then it will help you know the skills that you need to develop. You can't say you want to start learning Power BI when you don't understand Excel very well. Would you learn it? Yes, but it will be harder. So why not start with the low-hanging fruit? Why not do the simplest thing and see yourself consolidate, improve, take one step, take one step. Starting might be hard, but once you start and you hit the ground running, you're good to go. And also, networking and mentorship should never be told at this point. At this point, we all need mentors, people that have gone ahead of us, and you can just do it alone. And then it helps you adapt. You that will thrive in rainy season will also thrive in the hot weather, because you know that there would always be seasons. Times would always change, and you can man up to each and every of these seasons. So this is the importance, or these are the importance of identifying your career season. If you're an apprentice, what do you need to do? A master, what do you need to do? So I want you to ask yourself, what season am I in? Like the picture shows here, what season? Are you in winter? Is winter your apprentice season? Whatever name you call it, are you in spring? Are you in autumn? Are you in fall? Whichever way, just make sure you are thriving. You can see this tree, irrespective of the weather, it is not dead. It is adapting. It is still bringing out its leaves. It is still blossoming. It is still beautiful. But you can see that during sometimes it is scanty, sometimes it's fuller. Just make sure that you keep thriving. And it will only come when you know that season that you're operating in. And it conclusively, in closing, one of the things I would say for an apprentice, you need to be eager. You cannot just be complacent. No, you need to be raw. You need to go after the work. You need to make your hands dirty. That's not the time to be posing. When they tell you, make photocopy, do this, do that. No, why do I have to make photocopy? I'm a graduate. Did I go to the university for 5 years to come and shred paper or do this? No, it's not about that. It's about obeying instructions, going the path, growing. Children don't just start walking or jumping, they start crawling. We know that you didn't go to the university to come and shred paper or learn how to spiral bind or laminate. But for this stage and for this process, for this industry, you have to do all of this. Because one day you will be an authority and there's no office assistant to laminate for you. What are you going to do? But because you get to that season what you have to do to it, you're able to laminate even as an authority. When the junior ones are saying this thing is hard, you're able to tell them, when I was your level, I did this, and this is how I do it. That's where mentorship legacy comes in. So don't say, oh no, these things are not the kind of thing that I want to do. I want to do hard work. Of course, hard work will come. When you become to the experienced hand, you need to defy flaw. You cannot, there are some mistakes you can't be making. There are some mistakes that when you make as an apprentice, people would excuse you. But there's a level you get, people cannot excuse you anymore because they expect that you should have made those mistakes repeatedly. So make mistakes when you have to make them. And be an experienced person when you have to be experienced. And for the master, with your mistakes that you have gone through over time, you have wisdom, you have grace, you are able to do certain things. And for the authority, you would leave legacy. You would leave certain legacies, right? So it is very important for each and every one of us to understand the phases where we have found ourselves, understand the phase where you have found yourself, and give to it what that phase deserves. Give to that phase what it deserves. Next is, can you see? Okay, so next week we will be speaking on If you can hear me, kindly put it in the chat box if you can hear me. If you can hear me, kindly put it in the chat box. Let me know if you can hear me. Just say yes. So next it will be speaking on strategies for accelerated career growth. So now that you've known your seasons and you have gone through a transition phase where you have to, or whatever phase you have found yourself, just make sure that you give to it what you have to give to that phase. So next is strategies for accelerated career growth. I'll be sharing three very important strategies that we can use in accelerating our career growth. And this is something that I am also giving myself to. In the fortnight, we will be sharing on the competence ladder. Very, very important. And I hope that this class has been very amazing for you. So I want to thank you for joining. And if you're watching later, thank you for making it thus far. Thank you very much.